Welcome to another episode of Tegan. Nigerians are leaving the country and fleeing away in high numbers, especially highly skilled and experienced professionals. Watch this video.
What is brain drain? Do you want to JAPA?
I just want JAPA lights.
Me, I want to JAPA come on for this country.
I got to JAPA.
I got to JAPA.
Me, I want to JAPA.
I got to JAPA.
Brain drain is the migration of highly trained or qualified people from a particular country to seek for greener pastures in another country. We can also call it human capital flight, which now brings us to the JAPA culture in Nigeria. The NMA reported in 2020 that out of 75,000 doctors officially registered in Nigeria, over 33,000 had left the country, leaving just above 50% of that number to man the health institution in our country.
Here, there is one doctor for every 6,000 people. The World Health Organization says it should be one medic for 600. This means the country only has 10% of the doctors it actually needs to look after its population.
And they're paid so much more abroad. I think the major reason will be for the money, but then also for job satisfaction.
Also, in 2020, Canada advertised that they will be absorbing 1 million immigrants. Are you part of the people ready to JAPA?
Are you ready for? I have an experts panel with me to talk about brain drain, this mass exodus of skilled professionals in Nigeria. Let me introduce you to my panel. With me to my right is Dr. Bolane John Emaimo. Welcome to the Tegan Show.
Thank you.
Now, to my far right is Dr. Olawale Ogunlana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Popularly known as Dr. Wells. And we have journalist Daisy Maak
Hi.
of Hotline 3.3 Lagos.
Thank you so much for
Welcome to the
having
show.
me. Thank you.
So, Nigerians are fleeing the country in numbers.
Oh.
There's this mass exodus of Nigerians. Why do you think it's still a thing these days? It seems very obvious, but why is that a thing these days?
Okay. First of all, obviously, the country is looking very nice and treating everyone well, obviously. So people are looking for escape routes to survive since the country is treating them well in a certain way. That's the way to look at it. But seriously, looking at the economy, looking at the society that we've built out for ourselves over the years, it's obvious that we need to do more. We, the kids, cannot be living less than the way our fathers lived. We need to be getting better. And it seems like our government officials, our leaders are not really getting these things right. Right? So people have said, okay, you know what, since nothing is getting better, probably we'll go outside and see how things go outside there. And from people that have gone so far, it seems like things are better, at least from what we see. Most of the time, we don't paint the other picture on the other side. But really, we see good pictures everywhere. So people feel, okay, you know what, the grass is greener on the other side, let's go.
All right. I guess without a doubt that not only because of what our fathers have been through and we do not want to go through it, many also, they look forward, prospectively. People do not want to give birth to children facing the same things they are also going through. I believe in Nigeria, but the happenings that are occurring in Nigeria could, shake anybody's faith, no matter how diehard you are about your country, you would still want the best for yourself, for your welfare, for your state of mind. Because when it still boils down to the fact that when I wake up, no matter where I wake up in, I feel satisfied in the person I am and in what I have. So you see even people who earn a lot. So it's not only about the fact that they're running for greener pastures. Also, you see people who earn a lot and they have the money and they will still prefer to move they and their family, abroad. So it's not only the economic part, it's also the satisfaction part where they feel like they get better.
I think I would just like to elaborate a little bit on what she just mentioned. That's the satisfaction part. The truth of the matter remains that Nigeria as a country, when we look at it, there are certain issues. For example, there is a limit to your green passport. There's a limit, there's a ceiling to how many countries you can travel. And then once you are able to make that switch from a Nigerian passport to an American passport, you have about 192 countries that you can travel to without needing a visa.
And
so, so when you look at it from that angle, you now ask yourself that, bros, how far now? Like, I think I need to make the move. So people don't just leave because they feel that, oh, things aren't working. So as she said, people leave because of economic reasons. For example, I have a daughter, and basically my hope for her is hopefully she doesn't end up with a green passport that kind of puts a ceiling on her, yes, a dent on how far she can go, and stifles some particular opportunities. In fact, it has been proven that once you have an American passport, there are certain opportunities, there are certain things that you can get without you even having any problem. Just being that.
For example, if you're filling a form online, maybe take for example, you want to go to Australia or something, and you feel there's some countries, if you fill them in, you already have like upper hand, like Nigeria is on the low. And I'm not saying like as an African country, all African countries are like that. We see other countries that are improving. Within this world that Nigeria has gone down, like in the sense of economy and other things, we have seen a good increase in the economy of Ghana, for example. South Africa has also grown. Rwanda is now a place where people want to travel to. So what kind of like aches my heart is the fact that we stay in a way in one place and we just keep on hoping, keep on praying, keep on wishing. And people are tired of the wish-wash and they're just like, I want to take action. Yeah, I want to realize this dream.
So we're talking about people leaving, because like when people leave, there's no intention to come back. Now, Daisy, there are a couple of people who are sort of exceptions to this. So take, for example, Linda Osifo. She's talking about how, she came back to Nigeria to pursue her career, her acting ambitions, on the likes of Moabudu, who's back in Nigeria for the most part. So why are those people deciding to come back after they've known that, okay, here's Nigeria, and there's no surprise that Nigeria can give you yet in terms of what's out there?
Okay, I would speak for my industry, that's entertainment. So there is this kind of upper hand that you get when you go out and when you come back. So when you go out as a creative, you stay there as a creative, you're normal. You're just like a normal human being. But when you go out and you come back to Nigeria as a Nigerian, and you've been out there for a while, you are more like a superstar, your status is already high. So when they're considering people for opportunities and all of that, they want to look out for those people that are more exposed according to them, have accent, especially in the entertainment industry, have accent. They want to see some certain kind of lifestyle that most Nigerians want to fantasize about, this Western lifestyle. And you would naturally give them that. You don't need to fake it because you're coming from there, right? And also, so naturally, let's don't look at even the other part, like the depression that people out there have to go through because of loneliness and all of that. Nigeria is naturally hospitable. So if you can thrive better here in Nigeria simply because you went outside, why would you want to stay outside? Of course you want to come back. Definitely, at least for the entertainment industry. As for other industries, I really don't know so much about that one.
Okay, I'll just give the introduction part since you're also from the medical aspect. So for example, now I finally, JAPA, that's the word now, as a medical doctor, and I'm looking at me actually actualizing my dream of maybe being a surgeon, and I'm now in my field and being appreciated, being paid in dollars or pounds, and my parents are settled, my children are settled. I am not talking about coming abroad, coming back here in Nigeria. It would be actually for really God intervening and God sending me, Bola, you have a dream here in Nigeria, and it's not a bad thing. So, like she said, there are some places where you have an upper hand. But in Nigeria, let's be practical. You come back here from the Obodo Imbo, and then you want to actualize some things in the medical aspect. We know how how small you have as a chance, because you seem already as a competition to them, and they wouldn't give you a very easy way to, you know, enter into the industry to work, or to even give them your expertise. They don't want to, you know, welcome that. I don't want to say it in a bad way, because I know some people that are our seniors could be watching it and be like, what's this girl saying? But what I'm saying is this, is the reality. You come from the abroad with that sense of you're a doctor and you're coming back to Nigeria, they wouldn't even give you an open door to actually be able to be of influence to the health system. So people would prefer, the doctors would prefer to stay back there. They would prefer to ensure that whatever wealth that they have, you know, accumulated over the years, even if they bring it back, they will go into other industry. You see them when they come back home, they want to make businesses, they actually invest in different things in Nigeria, but not really to help foster the health industry.
The system is not set up for some industries.
Yeah, very true. I actually really agree with that, because when I look at it from my own personal experience, both of us, we trained outside, we trained in the same country. And when we came back, you know, there was always this resentment for people who studied outside the country. And from a medical standpoint, I haven't felt that uncomfortable in my life before. So, and she rightly said it. If you want to come back as a medical professional, it's better you have other investments. Most likely, in fact, 80 to 90%, if not 100% of the doctors you ask who travel abroad, if you ask them, will you come back home? I'm sure about 99% of them will tell you that, look, to do what now? What I would come and do? They don't tell you that I'm coming home to come and be buried, or I'm coming home to come and take care of the wedding of my children or something like that. They don't really have anything that is professional that want to bring them back. Apart from media, as she rightly mentioned, there's no zinc, there's no entitlement, there's no attraction, if I'm to put it like that. There's nothing from that standpoint. So it's not for everyone. People going and coming back is not for everyone. There are some of my friends that are very patriotic. They know that, okay, if I'm leaving Nigeria, yes, because I want to make myself better, and then after that, I'll come back home. Yes, that one is acceptable. But then there are some people that, look, Nigeria is not my business. So I have gone to do what I want to do. God bless Nigeria, and take care of yourself. Regards to everybody that is out there. Anybody that has finished, you know, if you have left Nigeria, the last person should just, you know, switch off the light and change to NEPA. That's basically it. So.
Daisy, with this mass exodus now, aren't we doomed? Because if everyone's leaving, what will be left of Nigeria?
Well, I'll look at it in two ways. It can be a doom, it can be a plus. It would only be a plus if people that are going out at some point get touched. Because honestly, if you stay in this country and you want to fight and fight, you're already down, you want to fight people up, it's hard. But when you go out, you get your ass now right. If everyone that has gone out of Nigeria were to say, you know what, let's make a decision and let's come back and make a change, I feel that they are the only savior we have. Personally, actually. Because, I mean, they've tried to fight the government, it did not work. They've done protests, it did not work. People are talking, it's not working. The only thing right now that I feel that would possibly work and make this country change is when people outside that have seen what it's like to be in a better society take a resolve, right? And say, you know what, let's come back and let's make a change in this country. So that's the plus. Then as for the minors, people that they've left before they came back, no, those ones, God is their strength. But anyways, it's good in its own way if they can take a stand, but it would turn sour if they don't take that stand in the future.
With the world being very much global, do you believe that there's going to be a greater chance of people coming back to Nigeria?
I feel Nigerians would love to come back to Nigeria at some point. Honestly, I don't know, but I love Nigeria so much, and I believe that we have so much good. Despite the fact that our economy is really, really failing us and all of that, we have great people in this country. People care about each other. And we're having a conversation before we came here. I'm like, people are all in your business. They want to know what's up with you. In other countries, honestly, people don't care. Right? We are very hospitable. We care about ourselves. We want impact. We have this communist environment and all of that, you know? So apart from the fact that if you are doing so well, you have a good business that is running for you, your children are doing very well and all of that, that's why most people decide to stay. They don't want to go. Some of them would go and they'll still come back at the end of the day because, well, I mean, well, that's my opinion, Sha.
Before we go, my two wonderful doctors, when it comes to the health system, and especially the value that public health needs to bring to transform lives and strengthen nations, can we have an optimal health system whereby that brain drain phenomenon doesn't affect the Nigerian population?
That would be like it would be so impossible for us to even imagine that. I'm someone who is very direct, and I just hit the hammer on the nail. Without any lies, it's not possible, because if we look at this, the present state we're in, I think it's not really the fact that doctors are jackpotting, but why are the doctors leaving? Why are they, there was one word. Why are they all in that exodus moment now? What is the reason? And if the reason actually is not being solved, if the problem is still there, I don't think that will stop. I can remember while I was in Russia, I wanted to come back home. And I came back home because of this brain drain. I kept on reading about it. It was there on the news, everywhere, like just how we're talking about this brain drain. So, and I wanted to come back home to make a change. In the first 2 years, I was already burnt out. And I wouldn't lie, I was already like waiting for, checking online which kind of ticket I would take back. Do you get? So it is that bad. And just imagine 5 years after, I'm still here. And of course, my eyes are still, forward in the jackpot plan, but we're still here. And what I'm saying is this: if the problem is still there, if there's no infrastructure, if there's the issue of the government actually not caring about health professionals, because I think it's getting worse. If you can hold people for 9 months, and then when they go on, when they are shouting like, we can't do this, just imagine 9 months without receiving your salary, nowhere you would be, and you would continue working. And you're telling these people to come to work because of what? They're doctors, they're nurses, and they've taken this oath that they must die, even if they are quick out. Like they must die to serve the nation. 9 months of no salary, and they keep working. And you're telling them that, okay, they should come back, you pay them, or you start paying them. And then they told them they were being paid, right? Yes. And just to see that they would even deduct from their salary. Like, these are things that if I'm to face that kind of thing, and then I finally jackpot to a country where they value me, they value what I give, man, why won't I stay there?
All right, let me just put it in short for what she has mentioned. The truth remains that it will be, at the present rate that it is, it's impossible for Nigerians to want to come back en masse and feel the brain drain, because let's be very honest, Nigeria budgets 200 naira in a year for each Nigerian citizen for health insurance. That's the fact. This is fact.
That's the budget.
This is actually
the lowest
fact.
Budget.
Doctors are underpaid. They are owed salaries for years. Sometimes, they are not captured. In fact, the last one that she mentioned was that they pay doctors and then they reduce from their account. Even if you transfer the money, you had a deficit in your account. So that means that when you put money inside, they are going to take it back. So that's the current situation that we are in. And I'm pretty sure that we are not going anywhere soon. And if, in fact, let's just be very honest. I don't think we should be going back and forth. It's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's just going
People should get ready to use herbal medicine.
Yes, and they should any herbalist that they can see online, maybe anything like that.
I'm positive it will change.
No, well, there is always the eternal optimist. There is always somebody who will say that. Look, I will put it like this. What brought me back to Nigeria was this eternal optimism that Nigeria can be better. Nigeria is going to be awesome. And she is 5 years. I've been here 8 years. 8 years, nothing. In fact, it has even gotten worse. Worse in the sense that I was earning about $1,000 when I was an house officer, and now that I'm a senior medical doctor, I'm barely earning even up to $500. So, not because of anything, the salary has increased, but naira has become like toilet paper. So, I mean, we just have to be very honest. things are, you know, as it is.
Mine is now up to $500. You're a rich man.
No, don't worry. No, you can come for my party.
Okay.
Thank you all for weighing in. There's more on Tegan. We'll be right back. Hey guys, for more Tegan, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Tegan Show. Follow us on all our social media handles at Tegan Talk Show and visit our website, teganshow.com. Join the conversation and of course, join the party. Welcome back. We are continuing the conversation now with Ladipo Lawani. Now, he's a Forbes 30 under 30 entrepreneur and he's the CEO of L&L Foods company. So Ladipo, thank you. Before we get into why you moved back to Nigeria, tell us more about your company, L&L Foods.
Yeah, so L&L Foods is a company I started, to fix a problem. So at the time, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I felt that it allows me, obviously, to determine my own future financially, but also fix problems in Nigeria. And so I had sort of narrowed down on agriculture. I felt that there were not as many solutions, because agriculture is very broad. You have anything from cassava to sugar to sorghum, so a lot of issues. And I knew that as an entrepreneur, I had to pick a space where I could actually add value to solve problems. And so L&L started as a sort of broad review of problems in general in Nigeria. And then I sort of narrowed down till I hit agriculture. And then in agriculture, I sort of narrowed down on groundnut. I would say groundnut was sort of like a light bulb moment where I realized that in Nigeria, it's such a large consumption. There's a lot of consumption of groundnuts, but over 90% is unbranded. So it's sold in used bottles. You see it everywhere, but no one's adding value, whether it's flavor, whether it's quality, whether it's efficiency. And so that was sort of how I got this. It was a very logical process at first. It was sort of an entrepreneur looking for a problem. Went through this process where I then sort of narrowed down on groundnuts. And so that's sort of what we do. We focus on groundnuts as a product. Our focus is the mass market. So our products are 50 naira. It's a flour-coated peanut is the biggest one. We also do bottle groundnut. The brand is called Mr. Ekpa. So we manufacture Mr. Ekpa peanuts, yeah.
Great. So you found a problem, you saw a solution, and you decided to come back to Nigeria. I'm curious to know, when you made that decision to come back to Nigeria, what was the reception like among your peers in this agricultural industry?
It was tough, actually, because I moved back when I was 19. And my first business idea was I wanted to bring a company that would compete with MTN. So I wanted to start my own telecoms company at 19. Obviously, just registering the business frustrated me. And I went to get NYC and I got a job, and I've sort of had to come back to that question of how can I be an entrepreneur? And I didn't start L&L Foods till I think I was 26. So between 19 and 26, we had almost 7 years. And so there was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of misfiring. Just energy, but no direction, no results. So it was after that process of frustration that I started being intentional about, okay, how do I move? One thing I realized was that time was going. So 5 years had come and gone, and I couldn't touch anything tangible. In that same period, some people had gotten their PhDs, some people. So I realized that, the next 5 years was going to come and go. If I didn't structure myself, I would really have nothing to show for it. So the short answer to your question is that it was very hard. I didn't have any resources. I mean, just registering my business shut me down. Because you spend the whole day in traffic, you realize it's quite complex, So that was my initial experience.
Now, speaking about education, you have an Ivy League education, a fantastic business school, and you have multiple options. You're now in Nigeria, and I'm sure there are times whereby you may ask yourself, why shouldn't I just leave the country? Tell me about those times whereby it feels like your hopes or your aspirations are just too out there.
I mean, first of all, I think to whom much is given, much is expected. So if you look at countries like America, it was built by few, and they were the people who were either more educated or inspired. And I think there's a sense of responsibility that I think we should have as Nigerians. But then I also think it's opportunity. Like problems equal opportunity. And so if you have the ability to push through, then there's a big reward. Most times when you're abroad, you're not going to create Coca-Cola all over again. If you look at what I'm doing, it was probably done in America a few hundred years ago. And so that opportunity doesn't exist. I truly think that in those countries, to be a Mark Zuckerberg, you have to be a genius. The system is so highly optimized that you really need to be an Elon Musk, or and I don't know if I'm that. Yeah. So when I look at opportunity, I think Nigeria has a lot of opportunities because it has a lot of problems.
Now, across your personal and professional circles, on a scale of 1 to 10, when people hear your story and they said, he has everything on his plate and he came back to Nigeria, how would they rate you? From 1, he's not so crazy, to 10, he's very, very crazy for moving back.
I think it really depends on a lot of people's reference points. So I was fortunate to have parents who had climbed the corporate ladder, and I kind of had that view, and I didn't think there was too much to aspire. It was good. I mean, it afforded me opportunities, but I think for a lot of people who climb the corporate ladder, and I also worked in the corporate world, and I looked at my bosses and I realized I didn't want to be them. So a lot of times the corporate ladder is glamorized, because I know people who have very good jobs and they're wishing that they were Mark Zuckerberg. So I think it really depends on what perspective the person sits at. For a lot of my classmates, after 10 years of graduation, some of them love their job, some of them feel like it's another rat trap, even though they're making a lot of money. So I think I was fortunate to get opinions across and understood that it wasn't necessarily too much of a trade-off.
So throughout today, we've been talking about brain drain, and you are an exception to the notion of brain drain. If there's a Nigerian out there that feels that they can try their luck with Nigeria, or they can make a difference, what is your advice to them?
My advice is that you really don't know the impact you can have until you get involved. There have been times when I found myself in a room and I thought I was the youngest person, or I thought I didn't have enough experience. But you find out that sometimes you already have a lot to give, and that you can actually be the light. And I think it's not, there's something, Andela has a model where they believe that talent is not localized in one country. So you could be in Ogbomoso and be the future that we need, be the answer to the question. But if you don't try, you kind of never understand. So you have young people like, you have young entrepreneurs who have stepped in. We talk about Flutterwave. They're young guys. They stepped in and look at what they're doing. So again, we can talk about Nigeria's problems, but till you get involved, you don't understand how much of the solution you can, contribute.
For more information on Mr. Ladipo Lawani and the L&L Foods company, check out their website at mrekpa.com, mrekpa.com. Mr. Lawani, thank you so much for the show.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today on Tegan. We've had a thoughtful conversation on brain drain, and we need to keep this conversation going. But one thing is for sure, I'll see you next time, only on Tegan!
Are you ready for? Now we there. If you ready for fun, make you come here.